never done this way. Huh.
Thou that tarnisheth the Godmother's image, I am Gwyndolin. And thy transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
So, about that illusory goddess stuff. It's dark now. The sun's gone out. We're gonna go ahead and sit here. Somebody's got the sunlight maggot on. Oh! Oh no! Woo. That was useless. That was that took so much more time. I'll drink. Check this place out by moonlight. Oh, you scared me, Phantom. Oh. There appear to be two figures in the cathedral now. I'm gonna take that ring off. What should we put on? What should we put on? Steel protection? Havel's ring? Chloranthy ring? Perhaps Chloranthy ring. Get our staminas. We're just lore walking right out of here to meet these guys. Got like a Baronique Knight and woohoo! Alright, who wants some? Who's coming first? Ooh, you should have taken that opportunity. Alright, hang on. Let's see here. Oh! I misgauged where I was. Ow! No! Why did I do that? That was bad. There goes one of you. Oh, that was weird. That was weird, that was weird, that was weird. Why do I keep unlocking from this guy when I don't want to? So this guy's got like so the Baronique Knights are the big guys, and then these guys followed Night King Rendell. I should actually put my claymore on if I want to backstab, huh? That would be helpful. Oh hey. Wow, we did it! Cool! I admittedly often get my butt handed to me in that fight at least once or twice. So, all the big guys are gone. All of the big guys. They're gone. This place is not as we remember it. There is another figure waiting for us.
So it was you, was it? How dare you produce a blade upon a deity? How did you ever get this far? I shall end your suffering here and now. It is the least that I can do.
That's the brass firekeeper. She is essentially the captain of the Dark Moon Knights. Woohoo! She's got a parrying dagger and an enchanted... Stop unlocking! Oh my gosh, I'm not that far. Yeah, she's looking for an opportunity to parry me, murder the heck out of me. This is a good fight. Yep, I kind of
soar under light of the dark moon.
There we go.
Haunt you forever.
I don't know if I've ever died to her before. Oh, look, it's Anolondo. We've been kicked back here. And the moon is high. And there are no giants, no sentinels, only statues. So here comes the trickiness with this. When you die in the twilight of Anorlando, you get kicked back to there. Basically every time. Ah, balls! Okay, so it's not an instant kill. She's just really good at it. Okay, let's kind of bait her so we can drink. And drink again. Definitely want to be topped off. Interesting how she doesn't have anything more to say. She's like, oh, you're back. Nope, we're just gonna do this dance. The turtle and the parrying dagger.
But how? This woman is a threat. Master Gwendolyn.
She only gives 1,000 souls. I guess we just killed a firekeeper. Whoops. We got her soul. What about our buddy the giant? What about our friend? All the gargoyle guys are gone. Oh, but friend remains.
Hello, forge I can, strong I am. But you, friend, you talk, I no talk, but happy. Cometh soon.
Our giant friend is real. He's not an illusion. Well. Okay. How? We don't have anything on us, do we? Oh, we totally do. But it's just the Firekeeper soul. So... we're gonna warp ourselves back to Firelink. We're gonna ask Anastasia to, please use this Firekeeper soul. But first we're gonna read about it. Soul of the Dark Moon Knightess, Firekeeper of Anor Londo. A Firekeeper's soul is a draw for humanity, and held within their bosoms, just below a thin layer of skin, are swarms of humanity that writhe and squirm. Her brass armor serves to disguise this ghastly form. So, turns out that after a while of doing this Firekeeper thing, you don't look so good. We shall use the Firekeeper's soul to reinforce the flask.
Forgive me. I wish.
So we have a +5 Estus flask now. Wonder if we can still warp to the Darkmoon tomb. It says yeah. Alright, well let's, how far are we from leveling up? Quite a ways, unfortunately, and we don't have any other soul items on us, so we're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna go for it. Okay. Well, we can't kneel here anymore. No covenant for us. You know, I didn't point out that it's actually nice that Gwendolyn's pretty chill about you being like, no, I don't want to join your covenant. They're like, all right, then we don't need to talk. Yeah, on your way. But Gwendolyn's clearly got some other stuff going on. Let's traverse that white light.
Heretic. First thou offendeth the Godmother, and now thou see fit to trample upon the tomb of the great Lord. I am the dark sun, Gwendolyn.
That's right, he did say this is Gwyn's tomb.
Let the atonement for thy felonies commenceth.
Okay. Deep breaths. Oh, that goes through pillars. The big one goes through pillars. Ah, balls! Balls. Okay. Drink. It's taking us 3 S's just to get up here. Ah, balls! He's already there! Yar! Okay, we gotta be... Okay, that one we can just dodge. Raises up. Okay. Doing good damage, though. Okay, we should probably get our stamina back. Ooh, I don't... Okay. Oh, raising up. Okay. Balls! Balls. Balls. Why didn't I should have just put my shield up. Might have been able to survive. Might have. I might have also just gotten blown open and hit with the next thing. So, doesn't matter that we were sitting at Firelink. It kicks us back to Anor Londo, no matter what. We're always gonna get kicked back to that one while we are in the Twilight. I was getting really excited internally. I was like, oh, am I gonna do Gwendolyn on my first run? Nope. So here's the deal. I believe going down from here takes us to the painting room. Let's double check, but I'm pretty sure it does. Pretty sure that's the painting room. Yeah, painting room. So the way this works is that the game you'd be all like, okay, it's gonna be faster if I just hit the thing and then run down to the tomb, and then but the thing is that if you set this center pillar in a different position to get to Gwendolyn faster from the Anor Londo bonfire, if you die the next time against them, you will be stuck having to retraverse the rooftops like you did when you first arrived, because you will essentially, like, it'll completely block you off from being able to walk forward like we just did. So I'm not sure if I said that in an articulate way, but essentially this becomes the better, I would argue, the better choice, so that you don't have to deal with the rafters. It's a bit of a run, but there's no enemies. There's no enemies. Just hurry on up. Just hurry on up to the chamber of the princess. And warp. Alright. La 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 la. So, the thing that's gonna hurt me, I wonder if it would do me any good. Yeah, one of these robes gives me that extra magic resist. I don't know if this is the correct choice, to be honest. Oops, sorry, because the problem with this is that our physical defense is 31 in comparison with 39. Maybe we'll be okay. Because the arrows pack quite a punch. And this... You get
Heretic.
to... You watch the scene again? Okay. Oh, balls. That will go through. Okay, drink. Behind here. Whew. Okay, still got 2 swings in. Hide behind here. Thought he was gonna do the big one. Oh! Well, there went those souls from the guys that we took out. Guess we could have put on a ring of sacrifice, but it's not that big a deal. We gotta swing in. Infinite hallway. Way too fast. Did
Oh,
it.
heretic, swathed in dark, an eternal curse upon thee.
We receive the soul of Gwendolyn. And look, our souls are right here that are 0 because we died in the middle. If I'd been a little more careful. So, ooh, 40k popping in from Gwendolyn. Let's read about the soul of Gwendolyn. Soul of Dark Moon Gwendolyn, god of the dark sun and guardian of deserted Anne Orlando. Hard confirmation. The city of the gods is deserted. Everything we saw up to this point, with a few exceptions being Ornstein and Smough, perhaps some Silver Knights and some Painting Guardians, you know, little things. The blacksmith. The sun shining in Anne Orlando. The whole image of Guinevere is an illusion made by Gwendolyn. Special beings have special souls. Use the soul of Gwyn's lastborn to acquire a huge amount of souls or to create a unique weapon. I want to say it makes a bow. I want to say it makes a bow. Pretty sure. Considering that's what we were being attacked with. And this is the tomb of Gwyn. And, it's empty. Miracle, sunlight blade. Miracle wielded by Lord Gwyn's firstborn. Firstborn. The son, the firstborn who was erased from the annals of history because whatever he did was so treasonous that they kicked him out. Boost right-hand weapon with rays of sun. The power of the sunlight manifested as lightning is very effective against dragons. When the eldest son was stripped of his deific status, he left this on his father's coffin, perhaps as a final farewell. So whatever the firstborn did, it was actually after Gwyn went off to link the fire? Question mark, perhaps. It's empty. The chest is empty, and there's nothing back here. It's the Dark Moon Nightess set. It's the brass set. We'll read about that. I always pick the wrong direction when I get new sets, so it was closer to the top. Helm of the Dark Moon Nightess, Firekeeper of Anne Orlando. After becoming undead, she visited the Dark Sun Gwendolyn at the Mausoleum of the Spiral Depths, became a Blade of the Dark Moon, and assumed the flame-keeping duty. She received this helm which hides her hideous form and helps her hunt the guilty. And yeah, these they all have the same, and I'm blind. There it is. I mean, we're in the twilight, so it's a little harder to see, but let's get up here into the moonlight. Put the whole set on, why not? And now we have become the Dark Moon Nightess. Oh, she's so cool. So here's the deal. All of this, the entire twilight of Anne Orlando, breaking the illusion, fighting the Nightess, going after Gwendolyn, Which, frankly, I mean, I don't, I mean, I view it more as going into the tomb, and therefore you have to fight Gwendolyn, not so much going after Gwendolyn. Dude, this whole thing is completely optional. You never have to do this. And a lot of people didn't, still don't necessarily. Yeah. I feel like our roll is ever so slightly faster than it was with the Elite Knight set on. Let's see how it compares to Poise is higher with Elite Knight, but actually the brass is pretty high. But compared to, of course, Robe of the Channelers is beefy as heck. Embraced. Okay, so the resistances are higher on other things. Yeah, you don't have very high resist on anything. But your general defense is pretty good. I always feel bad doing, I do feel bad doing it, but I feel like seeing the Twilight and seeing the illusion broken is an important part of the world. I mean, you can break the illusion and choose not to fight anybody. You can just leave. I did the fights more for additional lore for you guys than anything else. We can probably level up. Back to strength we go. 28's good. Might start thinking about doing some more endurance too. Let's repair everything. Can't decide if I want to rock the helmet or not. So used to seeing Siegfried's lovely face. Let's just work back. Let's work back to Firelink. So he's got the boar helmet on. So the Twilight of Anor Londo begs the question. It's deserted, right? Where did everyone go? We don't even find a body, really, in the tomb of Gwyn. We don't see any sign that anyone has ever actually been laid to rest there other than the flowers. And a chair which perhaps Gwendolyn spent their days sitting in. So the thing about Gwendolyn, gosh, I wonder, hang on. Wonder if we can get that off of some flavor text. One moment, everyone. Let's see here if we can go see our buddy, our Welsh friend. Whoop. Okay. And we're definitely going to be lazy and just use a homeward bone after this. I am not tempting fate like I did last time.
Aye, Shemai. I didn't expect to meet anybody here. I suppose great minds think alike, eh?
We can buy the master key off him. Crystal stuff. Anything else? Yeah. We can buy the golem stuff. We can buy Ornstein stuff. We can buy Gwendolyn stuff. So our Welsh buddy Domhnall here becomes our boss set merchant, essentially. Crown of the Dark Sun. Crown of the Dark Sun, Gwendolyn, protector of the forsaken city of Anor Londo. This crown of the gods demands faith immeasurable of its wearer, but it is imbued with dark moon power that enhances all magic. The image of the sun manifests Gwendolyn's deep adoration of the sun. And I think the other pieces have a more general... So here's the thing. This is the thing we were going to talk about eventually regarding Gwendolyn. The power of the moon was strong in Gwendolyn, and thus he was raised as a daughter. His magic garb is silk thin and hardly provides any physical defense. Yeah. Literally 0 points. So, you might, as I've pointed out before, there's been some awkward translations here and there. This is generally how it is expressed in Soul's lore. Gwendolyn was a son raised as a daughter. Alright, we're doing it. We're talking about Gwendolyn's gender. It's very important. I think it's a very important thing to talk about. Considering here I am, like, constantly harping on lore in this playthrough. Okay, first thing to establish. This was a game made by a Japanese developer. Big generalization here. While there are some really awesome, open-minded, accepting people over here, there's still a hell of a lot of ignorance. And even people who act like they're accepting towards members of the trans community often use them as the butt of jokes. They think it's funny. So just throwing that out there, you know, this was not a game that was created with necessarily with any substantial sensitivity to, like, what it actually means to be trans. Okay, so here's the way the lore is written out. When Gwendolyn is born, they have such a strong affinity for the moon, which, of course, in all of, like, the mythologies tends to be, like, a feminine, thing. And because this game subscribes a little hard to the binary, they're like, oh, so Gwen raised Gwendolyn as a daughter, which, in some way, like, if you pick it apart, sometimes it sounds a little, weird. You're like, wait, what? How did Gwendolyn see themselves then? And is that why they don't use she as their pronoun? But no, it was just written by a Japanese development team, and they don't necessarily grasp that, if Gwendolyn's a daughter, if Gwendolyn was actually raised as a daughter, you wouldn't refer to them as a son, and you wouldn't necessarily refer to them as he. At least they would be they. Anyway, I mean, yeah, that would actually come down to how Gwendolyn, feels about themselves, but Gwendolyn's a character, and therefore this has to be imposed on them by the creators, right? Okay, so therein lies the problem. There's a little bit of lore in Dark Souls 3, actually, that implies that Gwendolyn expressed themselves in the mannerisms of a brooding goddess, and so therefore we should definitely see them more as a goddess. But they continue to refer to him as a son. Anyway, you can see how I ended up, like, talking myself in circles on this stuff. There's some people who have theorized about the lore that because that for whatever reason, Gwyn wanted to keep the lineage, the successors to the throne. He wanted to keep, for as long as possible, he wanted to keep things kind of, you know, sunlight-centric. And therefore, it would make sense for Gwyn to choose to, since Gwendolyn had such a strong affinity for moonlight, to instead raise them as a daughter so that they would not be next in line after the firstborn for the throne, since we're going by this default of the boys get it before the girls when it comes to heirs. So the firstborn would be the first one in line, the unnamed firstborn, then Guinevere, then Gwendolyn, right? And Guinevere has a strong affinity for the sunlight, therefore, regardless of order, Guinevere would take precedent. Anyway, Guinevere is older than Gwendolyn, doesn't matter. That's one of the theories, is that's why that was done, and therefore when the firstborn got kicked out, of course Guinevere became revered as Queen of Sunlight versus just the Princess of Sunlight. And it seems like in the absence of Gwyn and the firstborn, and Guinevere, who knows where Guinevere went? We don't know, because Guinevere's just an illusion at this point, created by Gwendolyn. And Gwendolyn has attempted to keep that whole illusion going, the illusion of the City of the Gods, that the sun is still shining over Anor Londo, that the Queen of Sunlight is here, and she shall bequeath you the Lord Vessel if you prove your worth, and all of that stuff. And Gwendolyn is still staying in the shadows, even after everyone else is gone. And Gwendolyn, being the last deity in the city, could just take the throne, so to speak, but instead they stay seated in the tomb of their father. There's also another thing that doesn't really ever, I don't think it ever gets addressed in anything. Gwendolyn doesn't have regular legs, doesn't have humanoid legs, unlike Guinevere. Gwendolyn, you might have noticed, has snakes coming out from under their gown. Now, I'm not sure why they chose this, or if this has something to do with Gwendolyn's lineage, because, again, later on, in later Souls games, there'll be some additional pieces of lore regarding the family tree of Gwyn, essentially, and yeah, something going on there that is never fully addressed. And I've tried to look into kind of like a more of a direct link between like the symbolism of snakes and the moon that would like make sense in this context. Haven't really found one. You know, snakes were an important part of symbolisms of, you know, say like Egyptian pharaohs, you know, in their clothing items and everything. So I don't know if they were trying to draw some similarities there with the sun god and the Egyptians, baby, the sun god with Ra and all that. I don't know. I feel like that's a bit of a pull, bit of a stretch, but who knows? Yeah. Also, Gwendolyn is much smaller than their illusory sister. Yeah, you would expect the gods to be very large, very huge in soul power. And Gwendolyn gave us like 40k, but that was a level for us. One. Not just a little over a level. So, you know, it begs the question, you know, is the lack of faithful in the city causing a decrease in their powers? I don't know. Even though we defeat Gwendolyn in this case, in this optional fight, the moon doesn't disappear. And there's this kind of like, theoretically, like maybe it kind of should. I don't stress that too much because obviously the flow of time is convoluted in Lordran, and another Siegfrau on another plane did not seek Gwyndolin and did not fight Gwyndolin in Gwyn's tomb and all that. Anyway, I've rambled on enough because I've still gone on and on and on for like 10 minutes or something. All of this rambling to say that I find that the use of the he pronouns in this game to be, you know, sort of incorrect and misplaced. But because it is difficult to know really who Gwyndolin is / was, given, you know, not just the context of the game and the flavor text style lore, but also, you know, the developers surrounding them, you know, I feel like them is a better choice, and even potentially she, but I always feel a little shy about you saying she, just because, again, it's like I wish there was more to know about how Gwyndolin saw themselves. Who were they really, is what I'm getting at. Who was Gwyndolin, really? Yeah, and without knowing who they really are, without that context, it's hard to be, you know, sensitive to, you know, what should I, you know, how should I refer to them? And I think they is probably the most appropriate choice. It's a hard call because you're relying on you're also relying on writing from different games. You're relying on writing from different games from a developer who isn't necessarily completely educated in / sensitive to / aware of the trans experience and the trans community and what it means for someone who is trans to be trans. And now I shall back to the recording session. Yes, the actual recording session. There I go. Anyway, Gwyndolin's cool no matter what. Where are all the other gods, frankly? We don't know a lot about them. We don't know very many names. But there are definitely other gods, like Velka, the goddess of sin. She's got her partners hanging out. You know? Where'd they all go? What happened? Faith seems, you know, faith allows you to do more powerful miracles, which makes me wonder about, you know, gods gaining or losing power based upon the faith that people have in them. Who knows? That's a thing that could be happening. Anyway, we have dealt with the Twilight of Anor Londo, and it's time that we move on to another thread. That's one more thread closed. One more thread tied up.